Oasis Audio presents The Bachelor in Bar Harbor, Secrets in Maine, Book 3, by Amy Rafferty. Read for you by Anne Richardson. Chapter 1. Channing, Harrow & Miles Law Firm, Los Angeles. Penny Harrow was finding it difficult to concentrate on the words flowing out of the attorney's mouth who sat across the table from her as he went over the divorce terms. She wished she was anywhere but inside this conference room in these offices, a place she'd stormed out of a couple of weeks ago when the firm had dropped Penny's latest client, Susie Long. Channing, Harrow & Miles had represented both Susie and her husband, Maison Long, until she filed for divorce. Maison was the lead singer of his successful band, Hot Maverick, and the son of the late great rock legend, Paul Long, from the band Heroes, while Susie was thought to be a little nobody if she wasn't going to be associated with Maison anymore. Regardless of the fact that it was thanks to Susie's songs the band had been successful at all. Maison insisted that he wrote all the band's hit songs with Susie's input. The man was sticking to that story, even after his last new single, which he did write, had been a complete flop. His record label was after him for another new song and 8 more tracks for his new album. This prompted the man to violate his restraining order to hound Susie and try to intimidate her into helping him finish the album. Instead of Maison being arrested for his crime, he'd gotten a slap on the wrist and a reminder he had the restraining order against him. This made Penny's blood boil because of his terrifying intimidation tactics towards Susie since their separation. Maison had even cornered Penny outside her apartment a few days ago, demanding she give him Susie's new phone number and new address. Lucky for Penny, her doorman, Sam, was a large ex-MMA champion who moonlighted as a bouncer at an elite club. He'd seen what was happening and politely got Maison to leave. Although Penny didn't frighten easily, she'd bought herself some pepper spray in case it happened again and Sam wasn't there to help her. Penny had also called Maison's attorney, Grant Harrow. He was currently trying to get Susie to settle on their terms for the divorce. Grant must have warned Maison because the man kept glaring at her, which Penny took to be his way of trying to threaten her. Penny didn't back down from bullies, and that's all Maison Long was, a spoiled bully. "We don't want to drag this out any longer," Grant said. "Maison is willing to split everything they bought together during their marriage with Susie and offer her a more than generous settlement for all her help with the band's music." Penny's gaze slid to the 2 women sitting on her side of the table. Her second chair, Debbie Granger, was seated to her left, and Susie Long to her right. They were staring at the document, and Penny could see that Susie was upset with the offer they had come back with. She didn't blame her because Penny was furious and suspected that Maison and his attorneys were trying to draw the divorce out, contrary to what they had said. Penny ignored the document facing her, and her eyes narrowed on Grant. "Could I have a word with you in private, please, Grant?" Penny said in a calm, professional manner. She slid her chair back and stood as she addressed Susie. "Excuse me for a few minutes." She looked at Debbie. "Please make sure nothing else is discussed until I return." Debbie nodded as Penny turned and walked toward the door. "Excuse me," Grant said, standing and following her. "Why are you deliberately trying to draw this settlement negotiation out?" Penny's eyes narrowed at her brother. Grant was 6'3" and towered over her 5'9" frame, even in her 2-inch heels, which were killing her feet. "What the heck is that in your hair?" He ignored her question to reach over and tug at something in her hair. "Ow!" Penny slapped his hand. "Baby food?" Grant shuddered and pulled out his pocket.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?